Welcome to the Penny for Your Thoughts podcast, where psychology, pop culture, and self meet, honey. It has been a while since I've been consistent on the podcast, and I could, of course, give all the excuses. If you are an avid listener of the podcast, I've done this before. We've been here before. And I came across this really amazing piece by a writer and creative. Her name is Neka, and she basically made this piece about starting over again and again and again and again and again until you get it right, get it tight. No, but literally starting over again and again, and just not needing to be perfect to continue on your journey with whatever project that you have in your heart. And we all have a special project or something that is within our hearts that we want to give the world. And of course, this is one of mine, one of many, but one of mine. And I always think about, okay, I'm gonna start back again, and I'm gonna be really consistent. I'm gonna start back again with a big guest, and we're gonna be recording in an amazing studio, and I just have all these plans, but all of that is deterring me from doing anything because there's so much that goes into that. We had a guest on our last episode. Towards the end, we talked about just how I was feeling in that moment, how I was feeling more pessimistic than normal. And one thing about this creative journey is, like, I've always been a risk taker and always kind of went the other way when it comes to my career and when it comes to what I want to do with my life. I never thought it wasn't going to work out for me. And I also never compared myself to other people. I always stood strong in who I am, what I believe in, and I just knew what I had was special, and what we all have is special, and I really leaned into that. But for the first time ever, I stopped believing. Like, I really stopped believing in my gifts. I stopped trusting God with my gifts, and I'm being very vulnerable right now. And it wasn't even like one of those things where I was my mind literally couldn't fathom like positive thoughts about what I was doing. And not because I think that it's trash. I don't think that. It's just because I was like, okay, what makes me different than everybody else that's doing this thing? You know, like, what? I've been doing this thing for so long, and some people have just started randomly creating beauty TikToks, and now they're literally at freaking fancy hair or fancy beauty like brand trips or whatever the hell. It's like, yo, like, I have something to say. I do love makeup. I do love all the cute stuff. I love all of that, but like, should I talk about my beauty and my makeup? Like, I started to question everything about what I was creating, and it really detoured me from creating. And what's so crazy is the last episode, the artist that was on there, she posted something, and she's basically stopped doing music. Like, she gave, not to say that she gave up, because I'm not sure where she is, what she has going on. I'm honestly praying for her. She's honestly so talented, and if you're listening to this, I am here for you. But it was just such a testament to how hard it can be to follow your dreams, and that's why people don't do it. And it's no easy feat to do what God has called you to do, or else like everybody would do it, you know what I'm saying? So I honestly wanted to share that the girl who created Saturdays, Kavana, she is no longer doing music, and that like hit me differently, because I'm like, wow, like, this is what my podcast is about. Like, my podcast is about encouraging people to continue on their journey, to keep going. And for someone who was on the podcast to stop, it's just a testament of how much the podcast is needed in this world, and how much, like, how real this shit really honestly and truly gets. It's okay to try over and over and over again, and this is me trying over and over and over again. So we are here with a solo episode. I actually have some more episodes coming up as well, but let me update y'all on like real life. But let's get off over the sad shit. Okay, let's go to the sad shit. In real life, as you guys may or may not know, I was laid off amongst so many other people literally last year, and I have had a year of just self-discovery, really digging deep into who I am, what I am. I think that like reality set in for me in all of this. Reality just set in. I'm like, I've never been a strategy or money type of person. I'm a feelings type of person, and you know, you learn about your strengths and your weaknesses, and you get more self-aware. And I've been missing so much strategy behind what I do and who I am that could have literally been making me so much money and income, and I just never thought that way. I just am a person who's kind of just like, let me just do this creative thing, and like once it pops off, of course, you know, the money will come. But no, girl, you need to think strategically. Like, you need to really understand that like we live in a capitalistic society, and money makes the world go round, power makes the world go round, and that's just what it is. Now that it's been about a year and I've been just able to think about my next move is going to be one of my best moves. I was able to realize like where I went off track. And y'all, girls, like, never let like a man make you think that you are like inadequate, or make you think that you need to change things up in order to be with them. Like, people are gonna meet you where you are and see you for you, and if it doesn't click, it just doesn't click. And it has nothing to do with like who you are as a person. And I think that I know that I'm confident, but y'all, it got to me. Like, literally not being, I guess, quote unquote chosen really got to me and to my self-esteem. And I had to reel it back and like be like, girl, you are a bad ass bitch. Like, you literally are one of them ones, and how dare you let somebody's stupid ass son, he's not a stupid ass son, he's a great person, but how dare you let anybody detour you from knowing who the hell you are. And like, it all happened subconsciously. Like, it wasn't even, I'm just looking back, and it wasn't even like a thing of like I'm just sitting here crying like, oh my god, like I suck. Like, no, it all happened subconsciously. It all happened in the actions and the decisions and choices that I made while I was trying to be with this person, and it's all was for my benefit. I learned so much about the world, life, and myself. I wish I had like something to tie it all in for you guys, but I'm literally still on this journey with you all, and I think that's what makes it so special. Like, I'm right here with y'all, swear to God. And like, as a Kenyan American, as someone who moved from their hometown to New York, and I just always felt like I have to show everyone like I'm doing good, like I made it, and whatever the case may be. But I have to stop making other people's like expectations of me, you know, my goals, and I need to go at my own pace. I need to not be scared or fearful of like what that looks like, and that's how I will get to exactly where I want to be. And I am exactly where I need to be, and my job here is to put in that work. The work needs to be done. Open that laptop, write that stuff down, open your vlog camera, edit everything, even if you don't feel like it. just keep doing it. And I would fall into the thing of like, no one's looking, no one's watching, like what's the effing point? But people are looking, people are watching. Consistency is literally key. Poor Minds, one of my favorite podcasts, and Favorite Girls, they always say consistency, the fuck? Consistency is literally key. And for me, it was figuring out, okay, like what is making you not do what you want to do? Like what is making you not go gung-ho? And for me, it was, I was lacking my self-confidence when it came to public speaking. I was like, okay, I didn't feel like the best public speaker. I didn't feel like the best storyteller or person that articulates. So you know what I did? I started doing improv classes, and I also started Toastmasters. So the thing is, it's like, it's not all about the way that you feel. It's about, don't underestimate the work that you actually have to put in. It's not all about the way that things look. It's really all of that groundwork that prepares you for anything and prepares your mind. It's like, I wouldn't be so nervous about speaking at a panel if I literally trained myself to be an amazing speaker. So that's where I've been with it. That's where I'm at with it. And right now, for me, it's all about the work. It's all about the discipline. And it's all about forward movement and strategy. At first, it was all about, let's just get it out there. Let's just do it. Like, let's just do it as much as we can. Like, but now we're on to the next level. So sometimes it's levels to this shit. Levels to this shit. There's a level to this shit, and you just figure out where your level is. Like sometimes you just might be at the level where it's like, just make something and put it out, like just do it. Or you might be at the level where let's start to strategize, like let's get disciplined, let's get consistent. Figure out where your level is and go for it. JT is a perfect example of a slow burn, and a perfect example of like, when it's your time, it's your time. And I remember watching her Angie Martinez interview, and I remember thinking, like, she is so talented, such an amazing girl, but she's not with all that extra hoopla. And nothing against Young Miami. I literally love Young Miami, and Young Miami held it down for the City Girls. She is a star. They're both stars in their own right. But the way that like the stands and the internet was painting it out as if JT just wasn't that girl, she wasn't cute, she was never the most popular one in the group, it was always Young Miami. But as you see, as time goes on, like, who is actually making these amazing hits, and who actually has like their own seemingly like aesthetic, lane, aura, presence, energy, cultivating like fans that don't play about her. It's just something so special about JT's era right now that just really speaks to God's timing and being yourself, and not letting the world force you into promoting yourself or doing things that don't come natural to you. Like JT would always talk about how, okay, I'm just not that person to be all up in everybody's face and being at everyone's dinner and just doing all that type of stuff. Like, that's just not who I am, but I do have something that I want to share with the world. And there are still ways that you can do that as a creative, and I just want to share that example. And Drake and Kendrick, who won the whole rap battle? Definitely Kendrick. And it just kind of showed like this kind of like Pop-Tart, like popular, trendy, versus somebody who's really on the ground, and somebody who's really about their art and their talent. And not to say there's nothing wrong with being flashy, there's nothing wrong with the way that you do that, but like, real niggas always rise. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Real niggas always rise. So right now, as we're moving forward in all of this, and we'll dive more into what I was experiencing, I definitely went back into deep bouts of depression. Like, it was actually crazy. I missed like a friend's wedding. A lot happened for me with the way that I was feeling, and I wasn't gonna share that because I think people kind of like judge it and be like, oh, okay, here she go again. Like, but you know what, who cares? Like, someone needs to hear this so they can like continue on their journey too. Okay, as a Kenyan American living in the United States or in New York City, I have to talk about what is happening in Kenya. From my understanding, y'all, I am not at all a political scientist, honey, like economicist. No, honey, no. But from my understanding, Gen Z and the millennials, y'all are doing what needs to be done for change. What's happening is President Ruto is literally trying to continue to be a scam artist, literally, like, and Ruto wants to create a bill that's going to put them even more under. And what that's going to do is just set people up for actual, like, it's already impoverished, but some deep poverty, and set someone else up to get richer. And the question is, like, is this really a democracy? If, shout out to all of the Gen Z and the millennials and all of the youth who literally are the people holding it down and holding Kenya accountable during this whole time. And they were getting tear gas, they were getting killed, they were getting their internet shut off, all kind of things, just because they were voicing their grievances with this new bill. And that does not sound very democratic to me at all. He is wanting to tax on regular goods that people need, bread, soaps, all of the regular things. He wants to, I think, increase it to 30%, fact check me, and people are barely making enough. And a lot of people, it's just crazy, a lot of people who are graduates in Kenya, a lot of people who are young and fresh out of college are having trouble to find jobs, which makes no sense. Like, there's literally no jobs anywhere. He wants to also do a thing where if your parents have land, in order for you, if your parents pass away, and in order for you to get the land, you have to pay a tax on it to get it, or they'll just pay you back for the land but not let you have the land. And that just sounds like world domination to me, or that sounds like they trying to do something crazy, like something dictatorship. That sounds like a dictatorship. And I am so happy that the Gen Z and millennials are fighting for what's right. According to my dad and everybody else, they are literally the people who were standing 10 toes down at the protest. Even though they were getting tear gassed up, they were getting killed, people were killed as well, but they are standing for what's right and literally playing no games with these old people. And I don't know why people want things to stay the same, because it doesn't even work. And it's like, you don't care about humanity, like, you don't care about your people like this. But this is from my understanding. I'm pretty sure I have some missing facts, but I would love to talk to more Kenyans that are in the space. I would love to interview you guys and have you guys on the show, do lives with you guys. Like, I just want to, one, gain more knowledge for myself, and two, spread the word. Someone called the people who were protesting KFC eating, Uber riding city dwellers, and I'm like, so you talking to me? Because that is me. And I can be, they were saying, oh, you haven't been through any hardship, so you guys don't know. It's like, why do people want to continue to suffer? Like, why? And I've noticed that, like, suffering is a part of, like, the Kenyan embodiment, and people just think that that is a part of, like, that's just how life is and how it goes, and that's not how life is or how it has to go. The, you know, like, self-actualization is not anything that is a goal for some people in Kenya and around the world, and it's because they're not able to do that. They aren't able to even reach that level of consciousness, and it's just so unfair for a leader to continue to keep their people and country down. It's not about the people, it's about money and other motives and goals, and it's just very unfair. But the beauty that came out of this is the connection that happened with the older generation and the younger generation. I feel like there's always a fight between the two because we are risk takers. We are wanting to do our own thing, but we also had parents who couldn't do their own thing, who had to work jobs that they didn't like or want to make our lives better. And so there's always like a disconnect there, and I think this bridged the gap because our parents were able to see, okay, the youth, we know a little something, like we know what we're talking about. And I think it really bridged that gap. And I think that two things can be true in a sense, where there's a lot we can learn from our parents and a lot that our parents can learn from us. And I think that that's the beauty that came out of this whole finance bill situation. And I am proud to be Kenyan because we literally are like, no. And I'm proud to be like a young Kenyan, and I just want to be able to speak more to it and dive more into it. If I sounded crazy, like, sorry, I'm trying. So I know this podcast episode wasn't the normal episodes. It's just me starting again and starting over, and it's not perfect, but we're gonna get into all the things over time. Let's just start somewhere. Pick yourself up and try again. You can pick it up and try again, try again, try again. What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that? Yeah, and that's it for today's episode. See y'all next week.